feel the groove. Philadelphia Eagles certainly felt it in the first half, putting up 35 points, 35-3, as we get ready to start the second half. And Donovan McNabb will start with the football here as the Eagles will get this kickoff. We look at the latest in fantasy stats, and if you want them, you can log on to foxsports.com. Donovan McNabb, 303 yards. It's the 5th time this season he's been over 300 yards on the day. With his 5 touchdown passes, he has a new career high for the season. He's up to 28. Ahman Green has been shut down, and something we talked about, guys, I think, Troy, you touched on it. Only 7 rushing yards for the Philadelphia Eagles in the first half. Who cares? 35 points and a 35-3 lead. A big hit on J.R. Reed is made by William Henderson, the veteran on special teams. And let's go down to Pam Oliver.
Hey, Joe, I asked Mike Sherman at halftime, how do you get back in this ball game? He said, we have been in some tough situations all season. This is about as tough as it gets, but we have to keep fighting. Meanwhile, Andy Reid told me very happy with the pressure that the defensive line was able to generate in the first half. We're talking 3 sacks, 3 knockdowns, and a bunch of hurries on Brett Favre. He says that Favre is the king of the comeback, though, and we've got to keep that pressure going. Back to you.
And the big key is Green Bay's got to be able to stop Philadelphia right here. You cannot allow them, whether they score points or not, you just can't allow them to sustain drives and take time off the clock.
Blitz coming from Green Bay. The Eagles pick it up, and Freddie Mitchell's wide open. His first catch of the day. Put the belt on, Freddie.
There we go. Now, we had the people's champ. And then you saw him look at his watch, which is to say, it's about time you threw one to me. That's the new one he has.
I tell you, if he keeps getting open like that, he'll get a lot more thrown his way.
Oh, everybody's open out here today. Who's not open? Pull somebody out of the stands. Give them a chance.
Freddie Mitchell run right up the seam uncontested. Nobody over him to try to redirect his route. Just easy pickings.
It was not 28 yards on the catch as it was last January, but 30 on that reception. As the pass is behind L.J. Smith, he adjusts to it. Is knocked out of bounds by Sharper with another Philadelphia first down.
You know what's so impressive now is to watch Donovan McNabb as he surveys the field. We were watching the tape of last week's game a little bit, and the number of times that you see him going from one side of the field to the other, from the middle of the field to the guy at the swing position. It is something that he has developed, and it's sort of come slowly, and you don't always notice it right away, but he is taking everything that the defense gives you right now, a la Peyton Manning, the way that he's doing it.
Only 4 incomplete passes all day. Troy, I'm as impressed with the catches that some of these guys are making for Donovan McNabb. McNabb is sandwiched as he lets it go, and he completes it to Owens. McNabb ends up on the ground. Owens ends up with a 21-yard reception. And the Eagles are down knocking on the door again with a ball just outside the 11.
Yeah, and right now, if you're Andy Reid, this is what you've got to be a little bit concerned about. Donovan McNabb hanging in there, but he gets hit by 2 guys on each side of him. But again, Terrell Owens and just getting lost in zone as this Packers secondary. We've seen it over and over throughout this game. The secondary, whether they're in man coverage or in zone, just getting lost.
But the timing was there again. He threw that ball well before Owens came out of the break. He's getting very sophisticated as a quarterback.
Donovan McNabb is wrestled down. Grady Jackson. And that for Grady will be his first sack of the season.
I think when you go back and you talk about Donovan McNabb and the season that he has, really it started last year in the Monday night game against Miami is when he really elevated his play and brought the team back, and they won. And he's been playing at a very high level since that time. But obviously with Terrell Owens coming to the team and the start that they had from week 1 against the Giants, this has been a team and a quarterback that's been playing with tremendous confidence. And it's amazing how well you play when you're not out there thinking all the time.
Westbrook with a penalty flag on the play. Westbrook gets it down just inside the 10. More interesting scores coming across with Washington pounding on the Giants, and San Diego is doing it again. They can open up a 2-game lead in the AFC West as they're beating Denver.
What was that Washington score?
Personal foul. Illegal hands to the face, a blow to the head, half the distance to the goal. First down.
Al Harris was defending against Terrell Owens.
And obviously a lot of guys frustrated, and they're going after each other right now. Al Harris really took this as a very personal challenge. He looked forward to the matchup against Owens, but obviously today no contest for any of these Packers defenders.
There's your Washington score, 24-7. They're already in the fourth quarter there.
And I think that's the first time this season that Washington scored more than 20 points, right?
And they're doing it against a Giants team that a month ago was rolling and looking to be in good position in the NFC, trying to get a playoff spot, and now they are sliding away with Eli Manning as their quarterback. Pass is incomplete, and Al Harris ends up shouting into the face of Terrell Owens at the end of that play.
Well, and you've got to believe that somewhere, and I know the Atlanta Falcons got beat today, but somewhere Ed Donatell's got to be smiling just a little bit. You know, made out to be the scapegoat in what happened in last year's divisional playoff loss. And a lot of things were addressed. They thought they were better defensively, and to come in here against Philadelphia and just basically not even have shown up to this point.
Second down and goal. Owens already has one touchdown today, 14 on the year. A handoff is to Westbrook, and he is brought down at the 5. The first guy to hit him was Nick Barnett.
Well, I think for the Green Bay Packers, it's a point of pride time now. I mean, they really need something. You're probably not going to win the game, obviously, but you need to show a little fight, because eventually you are going to see these two teams in all likelihood matched up again. And the one guy that has continued to fight throughout this game is Al Harris. He doesn't care what Owens thinks. He doesn't care if they throw a flag. He's taking shots as just a point of pride at this point.
That was not from the penalty. That's the second time he's done that on this drive. Second time in the last 3 plays. Blitz coming. And the pass incomplete with Cledius Hunt in the face of Donovan McNabb. And if nothing else, the Green Bay defense stiffened and did not let McNabb get his 6th touchdown pass of the day.
Yeah, and Donovan McNabb, he's coming off the field pretty disappointed that they didn't get a touchdown on that drive. But a nice job by them offensively, being able to take this second half possession and move the ball down, come away with a field goal opportunity, and in doing so, taking time off the clock.
I don't think Terrell Owens can believe that Al Harris is talking this much trash. Down 35-3, 38-3 now.
Akers is good from 23, and Al Harris has been talking here at the start of the second half to T.O., but the Eagles are the ones that are doing the talking with their play, up by 35.
I love the way you've decorated in here.
Want to get away? Now you can. Just go to Southwest.com for Southwest Airlines $39 to $149 internet specials to 59 destinations nationwide.
You are now free to move about the country.
You left Rusty alone in your apartment?
It's okay. I got him one of those shock collars.
Oh, that's so cruel.
No. It's part of his training.
Can I get you a Bud Light? My roommate's got some in the fridge.
Thanks, Rusty.
Cool.
Fresh, smooth, real Bud Light.
So what's up? You want to hang in or you want to go?
It's all here.
Wish I could go to California.
Why don't you?
Can't leave all this.
Thank you. Introducing the all-new Dodge Dakota. With the only V8 under 20,000 and best-in-class torque and towing of over 7,000 pounds, why not take it with you?
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Fox NFL Sundays, brought to you by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 39.
A spectacular night in Philadelphia, weather-wise and football-wise, with a 38-3 lead over the Green Bay Packers. Terrell Owens mixing it up with Al Harris during that last possession as Akers kicks it away. This one will be returned by Ferguson. He keeps it as they fake the reverse, and Ferguson, we've seen them do this before, gets it out across the 30, knocked down at the 32. After that last possession, Andy Reid talking to Terrell Owens about, I'm sure, that situation with Al Harris, and even Harold Carmichael coming over. 38-3 Eagles.
Describe the perfect day, Liz.
Well, we're driving to the lake. The kids watch a DVD, and Joe and I have some quality time.
Joe?
Okay, we're barreling along. The Hemi's kicking some serious butt. Then we fish.
Ah, see, you're not traveling in the same vehicle.
The all-new Durango. Big size, smooth ride, Hemi power.
What a quack.
Now get 0% financing, a great package discount, and holiday bonus cash for total savings of up to $5,800. Offers end January 3rd.
Hey.
No. Hey.
Okay, here.
Here. Mm-mm.
All right.
All right. My man.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking double because of Domino's new Double Melt Pizza. Layer upon layer of flavor with a creamy blend of cheeses and herbs between two thin crusts. Buy your medium one-topping Double Melt Pizza for $9.99 and get any second medium pizza for just $5 more.
Hey, don't.
Get the door. It's Domino's new Double Melt Pizza.
Hi, I'm Dale Earnhardt Jr. Welcome to a new generation of Wrangler.
New fits, new fabrics, new styles. Wrangler Jeans Company, a new generation of Wrangler.
What's our team motto?
Aim low, dodge.
I'm okay.
Duck. Dip.
Dive. And dodge.
I guess I'm not really an angry person.
Dodgeball. Grab it Tuesday.
You angry now?
Helping out in the community is what matters to the NFL and the United Way. Get involved in your community. It's what matters.
Today's game on Fox is brought to you by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
First possession of this second half for Green Bay. Trailing by 35 off the hands of Driver, and then nearly picked off by Brian Dawkins. Sheldon Brown on the coverage.
I just couldn't help but notice that time on the cable camera that we have from behind, the seat of Brett Favre's pants are all dirty. I don't think they've been dirty all season long. It's just not a good sign. It's remarkable that this guy has stayed on his feet the way that he has this entire season and now getting knocked around in this one.
They toss to Green running left, and Green is wrapped up in the backfield. Kearse, Trotter, Jeremiah Trotter on the stop, a loss of 5, and down to Pam Oliver.
Hey, Joe, the Packers starting weak side linebacker Niall Diggs has been out of the game since the second quarter. At first, the Packers thought that Diggs had a rib injury. Now they've amended that to something a bit more serious. Diggs has a bruised kidney. I was back in the tunnel as they were loading him up in an ambulance to take him to a local hospital.
Okay, Pam, thanks for the report. Bad news for Niall Diggs and for the Packers. He's been one of their best defensive players. The pass is complete to Walker on third down. Walker is up to the 35, but he is 7 yards shy of a first down.
What's really remarkable about what this Eagles defense is doing out here, since Mike Sherman took over the play calling 6 games ago, they have been averaging 34 points a game and 439 yards of offense, and they look like a college team in here trying to play against the Philadelphia Eagles today. This is one of the best offenses in the NFL.
Well, at the end of the day, the Philadelphia Eagles will be all alone at the top of the NFL in points per game allowed. They came in at 14.9, tied with Baltimore. The Ravens had a collapse today. The Eagles are doing their thing against Green Bay this evening.
Today, we'll help a computer company move components from South America to Asia. We'll manage their inventory in warehouses around the world. We'll send a €2 million payment to their vendor in Brussels. At UPS, we don't just synchronize deliveries. We help synchronize companies. UPS, what can Brown do for you?
Can inspiration replace the typical small car with something that lives a little larger? More space. More function. More sizzle. America's best small car alternative just got a little better. The Chrysler PT Cruiser. Now starting at just $13,995. Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard.
I pulled into Nazareth. Was feeling about half past dead. I just need some place.
More bars in more places. That's the goal of Singular's all-over network, with the largest digital voice and data coverage in America. Thanks to Singular and AT&T Wireless joining forces. Welcome to the new Singular. We're raising the bar.
Holiday season got you down? Nothing brings a family together.
I will be buried in one of the greatest illusions ever.
Like a funeral. It's the episode to die for.
I've made a huge mistake.
Arrested Development, all new after The Simpsons, tonight on Fox.
38-3 with 10:08 to go in the third quarter. Donovan McNabb has thrown for 366 yards today. Career high is 390. So he is well on his way to blowing that mark up as he plays here in the third quarter. Hunt got a hand on Donovan McNabb. They're going to throw a flag. Chad Lewis, the intended receiver, and Hannibal Navies is the one that comes out of there complaining to the official.
Yeah, Hannibal Navies comes out complaining that Chad Lewis was hanging on to him.
Holding. Defense. Number 50. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
We're going to see Chad Lewis at the tight end position coming off, and Hannibal Navies picks him up, and well after the 5 yards, pretty obvious call for the officials. And, you know, Chad Lewis has really done a good job within this offense. We talked about it before, what a big part he was in about 2000, 2001. Then his opportunities decreased. And here this year has become another focal point of this offense, much more than what L.J. Smith has done.
Toss to Westbrook, running left. Has a lane, has a first down for Philadelphia. So the Eagles still going, and so is JB with a game break. Redskins, Giants.
All right, Joe Buck, I'm sure Washington fans can't believe it. They have scored and scored big. Patrick Ramsey hooking up with Chris Cooley, the H-back. Ramsey, 19 of 22, 174 yards, 3 touchdowns, 31-7 skins. Hey, Chris, do they talk enough about your great days as a quarterback as well?
We may get to that here soon.
Give us about another half a quarter here.
On first down, McNabb is going to air it out. And incomplete. Pinkston, the intended receiver. With all the talk about Terrell Owens, Pinkston came into this game 4th in the NFL in yards per catch. He's been a nice second wide receiver for Donovan McNabb to look to this season.
Well, he really has, Joe. And you think back to last year, and he was the only receiver that had a 100-yard reception game for this team. And then you talk about what the difference is when Terrell Owens comes in, and Terrell Owens already has 100 yards today. He's got 7 on the season. Todd Pinkston has 2 100-yard games, and then Brian Westbrook has 1 day. So all in all, they've had 10 100-yard receivers this season compared to only 1 last year.
McNabb is hit as he gets the pass away on the screen to Westbrook. And Nick Barnett, you're losing 38-3, Nick.
Good idea. Wow. You know, the one thing that is coming out of this, though, you have a very frustrated Green Bay Packers defensive team. They've been humiliated, no question about it. The Eagles are going to win the football game, but you also now have your star players taking some shots out there. You've got McNabb, we've got Westbrook, we've got T.O. We have guys that are going to give this team a chance to win a world championship, and at some point you have to begin to wonder, when is enough for Andy Reid?
Philadelphia uses a timeout. Maybe they want to hear more from Nick Barnett. 38-3 with under 9 to go in the third quarter.
Whoa. Oh. The all-new Dodge Dakota.
Nice, yeah.
With the only V8 in its class.
This is gonna look great in our bedroom. You are such an
And the most overall interior room.
wonderful man.
Seatbelt check.
They were on their way home for the holidays.
Check her out. This is my whole life. Like that.
Flight of the Phoenix, rated PG-13. The action starts December 22nd.
Every morning, the first thing that we do is let fire out of its cage. We turn a few knobs, and boom, the whoosh. Whoosh is a promise. It makes your mouth water. We live for the whoosh. If you live for the whoosh, stop on by.
Fox NFL Sundays, brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. By the new Singular, raising the bar. By new M3 Power from Gillette. Feel the power of the world's best shave. And by Burger King, who remind you to have it your way.
The Philadelphia Eagles with a win today/tonight will have a 2-game lead in their race with the Atlanta Falcons for home field advantage as we march toward the playoffs in the NFC. On the other side, the NFC North is getting more bunched up because of today's activity. Owens, what a catch. Perfect throw as McNabb dropped it in, and Terrell Owens is down to the 25. 45 more yards, Chris.
Poor Michael Hawthorne. I mean, that was just a flat-out foot race. And until you've actually been on the field with Terrell Owens, you don't think of him as being that fast a guy. But he just took off running, really not much of a move to speak of, and outran Hawthorne by 3 or 4 yards on the play.
Hawthorne needs to start watching some film. I mean, he knows that this is the best receiver in the National Football League, and yet he's still trying to come up on him, and he lets him run by him. And it's gotten to the point where it's just embarrassing for this Packers defense and allowing these guys to run open like that.
Career high 407 yards through the air for Donovan McNabb as Westbrook takes it over the right side. And what do we want to talk about? You want to talk about the NFC North? You want to talk about some of these records that they're putting up and what Chris said, getting guys out of the game?
Well, that was what I was going to say, was they got to get these guys out of the game. When you're talking about Brian Westbrook and how much they missed him in postseason play last year, why is he in the game? Why is Donovan McNabb in the game? And why are some of the, you can even say the same thing about some of these Green Bay Packers. I mean, this is a game that's pretty much over here with 7 minutes left in the third quarter.
I think the Packers defensively would vote with you.
One guy who's not in the game is Bao Ju, who's out with a concussion. Told you that Diggs is out as McNabb fires off the arms of Dorsey Levens.
Not only are they still in the game, but they're still throwing the ball.
That's all they know how to do.
Wow.
How about all the key injuries today? Ju is out with the concussion. Kidney injury for Niall Diggs. Rugemer left with an ankle injury. Nate Wayne re-injured that hamstring. And Derek Burgess has been bothered by a rib injury. That hit him last week in their win over the Giants, and he aggravated it here today. 3rd down and 12. Andy Reid would never forgive himself if somebody got injured, with the score being what it is, and the Eagles playing the way they're playing. Mitchell, Owens, and Owens out of his reach. Freddie Mitchell's a beauty, man. Mitchell is putting on a show, pleading with McNabb to look his way as he had his defender beat. He had his arm up, running down the field, and then when he doesn't get the ball, he pops up looking back at McNabb.
Yeah, and Andy doesn't like this, and the other guy that doesn't like it is Donovan McNabb. No quarterback likes when you've got a receiver saying, hey, how about me? You know, I mean, there are some other guys out there on the field, but, you know, hey, Brett X, he delivers.
45-yard try for Akers, and he drills it. Maybe that will mark the end of the day for some of these Eagle stars who have put up 41 points on the Green Bay defense, 41-3.
Imagine how good it would feel to pay off your high-interest credit cards. And that's just one of the great things refinancing with AmeriQuest can help you do.
I knew that I wouldn't.
Your own personal AmeriQuest loan specialist can help you lower your monthly payments. We'll even do the paperwork.
So good. So good.
Call 1-800-AmeriQuest now or go to AmeriQuest.com. AmeriQuest, the company that knows you are more.
Give him the first battery-powered shaving system from Gillette. It's the world's best shave. M3 Power from Gillette.
When you want to find her just the perfect gift, it helps to know the people who know diamonds. Zale's stunning 4-carat diamond bracelet, just $699.99. Zale's, the diamond store.
My name's Terrence. I'm what you call a loyal bud drinker, so you're probably wondering why I took a taste test. Well, the truth is, I didn't think anything would come of it until I said that Miller Genuine Draft had more flavor than Bud. Now, I know you're fresh, but all beers brewed in America are fresh. This was about flavor. Maybe you studied for the wrong test, huh?
Miller. Good call.
Thank you very much.
You want anything from McDonald's?
Whatever, you know what I like.
Sure.
I have no clue what she likes. Ooh, a lot of choices on the dollar menu. That. All of it.
And here's something else you'll love. National Treasure. Only in theaters rated PG.
You're watching Fox Sports, broadcasting the world's finest high-definition standard. And we just saw Freddie Mitchell salute the crowd. Thumbs up. Freddie has a catch today. And
well, that's his people. You got to understand, you know. I mean, the people's champ's got to wave to the people.
How about that? That is in jeopardy.
What do Staley tell us? How can you be the people's champ if you're not pleasing the people?
36 consecutive games with a touchdown throw for Favre. See if the offense for Green Bay can figure something out. This is Ferguson. He'll give Green Bay a good starting point. He's a good kick returner. He gets it out across the 40. And they'll mark him at the 43. Next week, the NFL on Fox. What will the games be? Seattle at Minnesota. We'll be there for that matchup. And the Vikings and the Packers, it appears, will stay tied, although the Packers have that tiebreaker over Minnesota. The top of the NFC North with records of 7-5, but heck, Chicago's not out of it. Detroit's not out of it. And it's a big game for Detroit next week.
We definitely have to take 6 teams to the playoffs, right? No matter what.
Yes.
And they all have to be from the NFC. I mean,
right. So we can't take any of those good teams from the AFC.
Like Buffalo. Buffalo cannot qualify for the NFC playoffs.
I got you. Or the Ravens, maybe, or any of those teams.
How about your Bengals?
That's the team that should be in there.
24 points in the fourth quarter against the Baltimore defense, winning the game over the Ravens on a last-second field goal, 27-26. Blitz coming. Favre avoids it and then throws it away. Javon Walker, the closest to it. Michael Lewis came on a blitz and got pressure on Favre. It's 3rd and 6. Early game headliners. We showed you some. Here's some more.
I like that, though, Joe. They weren't Chris's Bengals until last year. I mean, up until that, they were someone else's team.
No,
right?
that's not true. Last week is actually what it was.
Well, there are some of the highlights. Carson Palmer, 3 touchdowns as he gets better and better week after week. Curtis Martin. We'll see the Jets in a couple of weekends as they host Seattle. And the right tackle, Tauscher, false started.
Did you ever play in a game like this where it was just...
False start, 65, offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
I played against Alabama once when we were at the University of Florida. And we would sit collectively as an offense over on the bench and just watch the scoreboard. And as soon as they put another 7 up, we got our helmets and went back on the field. It was just that easy, and it didn't take long either.
Well, it happened much later for me. In '98, we played Denver and John Elway, and they scored the first 8 times they had the ball, touchdown. It was 48-0.
That's fun. 3rd down and 11. Double pass to Fisher, and he is knocked by Keith Adams, who's been playing more and more. The guy who was waived by Dallas 2 seasons ago. Good special teams player, now finding his way onto the field defensively for Jim Johnson.
They had so many guys now that can play on this team. Ike Reese had to step in at linebacker. They get Hugh Douglas back. Sam Rayburn came out of absolutely nowhere. And the frightening thing is this team has a ton of draft choices for next season. Jeffrey Lurie was saying they might actually have to trade some of those away because they don't have enough spots for all the players they're going to get.
Win with a fair catch after a 36-yard punt. Look at the history in this city. The Eagles won the NFL championship back in 1960. The Flyers in 1975. The Phillies, Tug McGraw getting the final out against Kansas City in 1980. And the last major championship in professional sports for this city, the Sixers, in 1983. Moses Malone, Dr. J, Billy Cunningham celebrating the sweep over Pat Riley and the Lakers. And Andy Reid with the owner of this franchise, Jeffrey Lurie. They're in a great position not only now, but for years to come. Managing the cap brilliantly. Tom Heckert doing a great job filling in with free agents. We talked about they don't get tricked into signing popular players into long-term contracts when they're on the playing the back nine, so to speak. They let them get away. They cut them and they
bring them back.
Well, they end up bringing them back.
They come back.
Whether it's Trotter or Hugh Douglas, but they also draft so well. Joe Banner, the president with this Philadelphia franchise. I mean, they do everything better than anybody else going in the league right now.
Well, I think you said it best, Joe. They've positioned themselves to sustain this for a long, long time.
They have a new stadium. It's one of the crown jewels in the NFL. It's 2nd down and 9, and McNabb ends up to the ground again. Campman on the pressure. L.J. Smith was the intended receiver, and again, they're still out there.
You know, and every time you see your quarterback driven into the ground, and there's your franchise, there's your shot at the Super Bowl this season, where it looks like almost a walk-in to the Super Bowl for the Eagles. Landing on the shoulder, and you see all the time guys get separated shoulders. I don't know.
Well, it makes no sense. I mean, whether he comes out of this game healthy or not, it just makes no sense. I mean, part of the reason that they're positioned to be able to sustain this for so long is because Donovan McNabb is going to be their quarterback, and that's the only hope that they have of going all the way this year and winning the Super Bowl.
A blitz coming. McNabb. Westbrook. His huge day continues. Roman ends up bringing Westbrook down. And half of my attention with Westbrook running in the open field was on McNabb, who got hit around the knees and ended up back on his backside after getting rid of the pass.
Yeah, and he looked shook up. I mean, take a look at the hit that he takes down low. That's dangerous. I mean, that's a dangerous shot right there. And, you know, this is when tempers start to flare when you're the Green Bay Packers and you've got 41 points. And yet you're still throwing the football. Westbrook, as I've already said, in my opinion, shouldn't be in the game. Donovan McNabb certainly shouldn't. Wow. They should get some of these backup players in there and get them some experience, start running the football.
Well, and that's really the key. Boy, Detmer, should something happen to McNabb in the playoffs, really has no experience whatsoever from this season. Why not give him a little time running this offense just in case something does happen?
Yeah, in fact, Coy Detmer, he's got 79 passes that he's thrown in the last 4 years. I mean, that tells you how little he has played. This would be a great opportunity for him to get in the game and get some experience, whether that's throwing the football or just handing it off. But, well, I don't know about this. I would have to believe that this will be the last possession with these guys in the lineup.
2nd down and 11 after Levin's lost a yard in that last play. They're still going for it. Lewis out of his reach. maybe Andy Reid. Well, we'll save that for a moment and check in with JB for a game break. JB?
Hey, Joe Buck, that was out of history, but take a look at Tom Brady and the Patriots continuing to roll. 5th straight win. Brady, as always, doing what he had to do. 44-yard touchdown strike to David Patton. They spanked Cleveland today. 42-15. Back to Joe Buck.
All right, JB, I was just going to say maybe Andy Reid is actually wearing the tights, the spandex tights, under his pants right now, and he's waiting for the 15th touchdown from Terrell Owens to just rip those pants off and show off the legs. 3rd down and 11. Westbrook out of the backfield, wrapped up by Barnett. Barnett's yapping at the sideline. He's still talking. He pops up and yells at the Eagles. At least a bunch of guys standing there in Eagles coats.
Well, you know, the other thing that's kind of interesting here is that Mike Sherman and Andy Reid are really best of friends, and at some point it begins to be rubbing a little salt in the wound here, and I'm sure that it's not feeling very good on the other side of the sideline.
They're going to try a 47-yarder from Akers. Having a Pro Bowl type season is David Akers. The line drive kick is plenty good. It was well long and right through the uprights to make it 44-3. Well, we keep referring to this as if everybody knows what we're talking about. We talked about it last week when we were at the Meadowlands watching the Eagles and the Giants, and Andy Reid told Terrell Owens to put some shorts over his spandex tights in training camp, and then he made the bet that if you get 15 touchdowns this season, receiving touchdowns, I'll wear the tights. And he has 1 today and 14 on the year, and that's our best guess as to what Andy will look like in the tights.
Has there ever been a better reason to buy an HD set than that right there? So you could get the full example of what Andy Reid would look like in that simulation there.
Well, Terrell Owens, he did get a touchdown today to get it to 14, but Andy was quick to read it, or quick to tell us that he does call the plays. I mean, he can call some things to try to keep Terrell from getting that 15th touchdown. But you know that if he does get it, you know that Andy's going to put on the tights.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about that.
No doubt he'll do it.
I've read where Terrell Owens says, well, we'll see if Andy holds up his end of the bargain. There is no doubt that if, and I guess these days when it happens, Andy Reid will hold up his end of the bet.
Well, his wife Tammy asked him, how come you didn't tell him he had to score 20 touchdowns? And he said, well, 15's a lot.
Ferguson, he's been doing this all night long. And he gets it out to the 21, and a penalty flag comes in at the end of that return.
And you get the idea that Tammy said that because she's seen her husband in tights.
That ain't right.
Jason Short was downfield to make the tackle.
That's a good point.
Illegal block in the black. Receiving team, number 48. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Tonight on Fox and an all-new Simpsons, Sex and the City's Kim Cattrall teams up the men of Springfield. Then it's the all-new Arrested Development. If you haven't seen that, you should. And my big, fat, obnoxious boss as the most humiliating sales challenge yet. It all starts next. The new Malcolm, except on the West Coast, right here on Fox.
Kim Cattrall has that kind of impact on cartoon characters, too.
Evidently.
Good.
Pass is complete. What a throw and catch with Ferguson on the receiving end. Sheldon Brown defending and a gain of 14.
And I tell you, I know we've focused a lot on the Philadelphia Eagles, and rightfully so, but you know, when you look at these receivers, whether it's Robert Ferguson or Javon Walker and Donald Driver, these guys have exceptional hands. I mean, when you consider some of the balls that Brett Favre throws at them, you know, these things are coming at them 50, 60 miles an hour, and they just pluck them right out of the air, and they've been doing it all year.
Chris, I think you brought up a good point. I just watched Robert Ferguson trot off the field screaming back in the Eagles defensive huddle. There's no doubt that while they're getting embarrassed over on that sideline, the tempers are starting to flare, and something could happen before the end of this game.
And you just don't want to see one of your star players get lost for the rest of the season based on some cheap shot. And I still say the Packers are a dangerous team for these Eagles, but they're going to have to play their style of game and be in the game early in order to take advantage of what they do best, which is run the football.
Ahman Green had it, lost it, got back on top of it, and lost 4 at the end of that play.
Well, and Joe, and how about Green Bay? I mean, you got Ahman Green, who's playing with fractured ribs, for crying out loud. You got Brett Favre, who's still out there. I mean, the same argument that we're using against Philadelphia as to why those players shouldn't be playing, the same thing holds true as to why are the Packers still playing some of their premier players at a point like this in the game.
It's a great point about Green. With that fractured rib. 3rd down and 11. Favre flushed out, throws, and Javon Walker makes the catch, but he's wrestled out by Lito Shepherd, well shy of first down yardage, short by 5 yards.
You know, I really just think that everybody talked about Terrell Owens and the fact that Javon Kearse was coming to this football team. But what was really missed was that this was a very unhealthy football team in the playoffs last year. A team that was a shell of the team that we had seen during the regular season because of injuries. So now not only did you get the 2 best free agents that were on the market, you got all those guys coming back healthy that were injured a season ago. And it has just been electric, the net result of that.
Dexter Wynn with a fair catch. Coy Detmer had his helmet on along the sideline. We'll see if he comes out with 17 seconds remaining in this 3rd quarter. And if the night is officially over for Terrell Owens, Donovan McNabb, Brian Westbrook, it should be, although Westbrook's going back out in the huddle, and so is McNabb.
Wow.
Unbelievable. The NFC playoff picture. The Eagles are cruising on their way to 11-1. We'll have a 2-game lead over Atlanta. Race for home field advantage. Wild card leaders, but all those teams on the far right, the Giants, the Panthers, the Lions, the Bucks, the Bears, all still have a shot. Stunning that these guys are still in the lineup, and I know we're beating a dead horse, and we keep repeating it, but I know that Andy Reid would not forgive himself if one of these guys went down at this point. It's an end around to Greg Lewis, and he is hit and wrestled down by Hawthorne.
And that is the kind of tackle you're going to get for the rest of the night. As long as they leave those starters in, you're going to see guys around the neck, slinging them to the ground, trying to drive them into the ground. What are you going to do? Get a penalty and screw up this score?
It's 4-3 at the end of 3. The NFL on Fox will continue after this from your local Fox station. Aikman's laughing.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
The game that's keeping golfers on the greens all winter long. See it tonight at 10.
The season's best. Experience the magic. Cadillac. Breakthrough. Visit your local Cadillac dealer for this attractive offer. Residency restrictions apply.
Wrapping?
Now you look at me and you think I'm pretty dapper, but here I am, your holiday gift wrapper. My name is Gus and I'm here to entertain you. I'm the second most famous groundhog in Pennsylvania. You got your list and you've listed all your names. Just that Pennsylvania lottery, fun new instant games. 6 games in all, and they come in different sizes, but they all have ka-ching. Big cash prize. All the games you'll be playing, the things you'll be matching. For holiday joy, just keep on scratching. Good morning. Can you have the 7 a.m. train show up at 7:15? Oh, thank you.
So we're moving into some new markets. Any ideas?
This is a good time for me to rotate my tires.
Okay, let's pick this up again tomorrow.
Imagine if the world revolved around your schedule. Well, at Citizens Bank, we can make sure you can bank whenever it's convenient for you.
Thank you so much. It's Sunday.
Yeah.
I think I'll open a checking account.
Citizens Bank, open 7 days a week.
Two first-half interceptions thrown by Brett Favre, who's only 14 of 29 for 131 yards, and that consecutive games with a touchdown throw streak is in jeopardy. It's up to 36, 11 shy of the all-time NFL record set by Johnny Unitas at 47. as they hand off to Dorsey Levens, the former Packer. Al Harris shoves him out. And Dorsey Levens is going to be out of bounds. They're going to mark him at the 28. A 45-yard run from Levens.
You know, and I really think if the Eagles put one more touchdown on the board, that their BCS computer rankings are going to go way up.
Maybe that's what's
I think it'll really help them in the polls this week.
Well, that time they just ran the ball, and you know, you can't ask them to just take a knee at this stage of the game either. So,
you know, and it is. I'm happy for a guy like Dorsey Levens, who's come here and done the dirty work and become the fullback, and he's fighting his way through it. And actually, if they keep running the ball, I've got a chance.
Just stop right there. Westbrook on the carry. He gets 4 right up the middle. So Westbrook still running it. Mitchell comes in, and on second down they bring in more of the receiver package for the Philadelphia Eagles with Westbrook joining Pinkston, Terrell Owens, Freddie Mitchell, and Greg Lewis. So how about a 4 wide receiver set for the Eagles? They spread him out, they run the ball, and a penalty flag comes in. 2 of them. And for good measure, one of the officials rifles the flag all the way back from the end zone into the middle of that pile. And it looks to be a face mask against Green Bay.
Personal foul, face mask, number 97 defense. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
They don't care. That's where I think the real danger is right now, because obviously the rules of the game aren't really coming into play, and you're frustrated and you are willing to do just about anything out there on the field right now.
Westbrook stays in, and it'll be first and goal from just inside the 10. San Diego hanging on to a 3-point lead over Denver. Kansas City now leading at Oakland by 7. Some of the other finals from earlier in the day. McNabb gets hit from behind by Campman. And McNabb is brought down back near the 11, a loss of 2, and a sack for Aaron Campman. He has 4.5 on the year.
And Donovan has been getting hit, Joe. I mean, we've pointed that out. It's not like he's still in the game at this late of stage in the 4th quarter and not getting hit. I mean, he's dropping back and making the throws, but he's getting put on the ground, and some of them have been pretty big. I mean, you take a look there at the knockdowns that he's had. Of course, 4 sacks and 8 knockdowns. And
Westbrook, the tailback, with Perry in front of him, and Westbrook gets it. And another good play by Campman, who just came up with a sack, a loss of 2.
Yeah, the one interesting thing that's come out of this, though, has been the play of these 2 young guards. Steve Shulo and Alonzo Ephraim have really picked up the slack. They are essentially the 4th and 5th guards for this football team this year, and they've come in here. Ephraim, not even a guard, he plays center and has really filled in pretty nicely today. That's has to be pretty satisfying for everybody on this Eagles staff.
Jermaine Mayberry on the left, Artis Hicks on the right, the 2 injured starting guards. Shulo, who played with Indianapolis, saying, I've already blown 1 chance to play in this league, as Terrell Owens is fighting his way. He gets it down to the 4, and that will bring up 4th down. And the field goal unit will come on the field for Philadelphia, with this crowd begging the Eagles to go for it.
Yeah, this crowd is loving it. I mean, there's been nobody that has left because of this blowout. Normally you'll see some fans start heading to the parking lot, but nobody's left here today.
Andy Reid can't believe how inept his offense has been in the second half.
Yeah, just nothing but field goals.
A bad day. Have something to coach him up on now.
22-yard try here for Akers. This is as close to automatic as it gets. 3 more points. It's 47-3. 47-3 Philadelphia with 11:16 left.
The tourist cabin is designed to wrap around you. This is walnut inlay. The trim is chrome. It's great. It's got 12-way adjustable seats. Sit down. Just get down in your seat. Yeah, what? Just a little more. Diane, how are you?
Dave, looks like you're doing well.
Yeah. See you around.
Okay.
The elegant, capable Touareg.
Ex-girlfriend? Yeah.
Come drive it. You'll get it.
The Sharp Aquos Liquid Crystal Television. Enhanced sound is the answer.
There's a big world out there. Shall we take a look?
On December 17th, take a journey to the ends of imagination.
Does this strike you as odd?
Where three amazing children must outsmart an unforgettable character.
Sonny, little help?
To discover a place called home.
All you have to do is look hard enough.
Jim Carrey. Lemony Snicket's, a series of unfortunate events. Rated PG, starts December 17th.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. By Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers. And by Paramount Pictures' new film, Lemony Snicket's, a series of unfortunate events. Starts December 17th, rated PG.
Lemony Snicket's, a series of unfortunate events, is a way to describe the day for the Green Bay Packers. And whether it's been offensively, defensively, any phase of the game, the Packers have been thoroughly frustrated. The Eagles are racking up one record after another, setting career highs, breaking franchise marks, a penalty flag and an offside on this kickoff. And Robert Ferguson weaves his way out to the 30-yard line, and the Packers can tack 5 yards onto the end of that or make the Eagles re-kick. So that decision is being made, and Craig Nall is waiting to come in. If that happens, that means that Brett Favre...
Offside, kicking team, number 31. 5-yard penalty on the end of the run. First down.
And Nall will come in, so the streak for Favre with touchdown passes in 36 consecutive games will end here today in Philadelphia.
$120.90.
I'll just put it on the credit card.
But those rates.
Don't worry. I'll just put it on our Capital One Prime Lock card.
Introducing the new Capital One Prime Lock card. It's set at prime, so you never have to worry about your interest rate again.
What's in your wallet?
Hello, Moto.
It's the Fajita Grilled Stuffed Burrito from Taco Bell. Loaded with authentic carne asada steak and grilled fajita vegetables. All wrapped in a flour tortilla and grilled to go.
Ooh, fajitas.
For sizzling fajita taste, think outside the bun.
This holiday, discover the magic at Radio Shack. For games on the go, it's our Game Boy Advance SP Value Pack, only $129.99. And for games at home, there's our GameCube Value Pack. It's only $149.99. Radio Shack has your child's first laptop, like the Barbie Bilingual Laptop, just $59.99. Or the VTech Bilingual Laptop, only $79.99. Great gifts right in your neighborhood.
Only at Radio Shack.
This game did not live up to its billing. 47-3, Philadelphia on top. And Craig Nall, who this season is 8 for 9 for 88 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions, takes over for Brett Favre. Nall with a fake toss and a completion to Javon Walker, and that's the way his night begins. And we know that there's a new audience that's joining our game here at this moment. Do you want to be the one to tell them what's happened up to this point?
Well, I think they can see by the score. But, you know, I think if you're Green Bay, obviously Philadelphia's just dominated this game. And if you're Green Bay, you've really got to kind of approach it the way that you did when you got beat by Tennessee and just say, hey, it's one of those games. Hopefully they can string it together a bunch of wins again, Chris.
Yeah, and, you know, from Brett Favre's standpoint,
as this ball is aired out for Walker, penalty flag, now 2. They're going to call an interference down at the end of it. There was also a flag back at the 31.
I was just going to say, from Brett Favre's standpoint, you always hear him say, statistics mean nothing to me. I don't care how many touchdown passes. I only care about wins and losses. Well, obviously, this is one of the most prestigious streaks in the National Football League. Consecutive games with a touchdown pass. And Brett Favre is saying, I'm putting the good of my team ahead of that individual record. I'm sitting out the rest of the way.
On the play. Illegal contact. Number 29. That penalty is declined. Interference. Defense. Number 21. First down.
So they get Matt Ware, an extra defensive back on the pass interference. Finish your point, Chris. I mean, if he wanted to stay in and try to get the next touchdown throw and make it 37 straight, I'm sure he could make that call.
And I guarantee you Brett Favre would have the right to get off the bench right now and throw 3 times into the end zone and try and keep it extended.
Take a look at some of the highlights, and only some. Donovan McNabb to Terrell Owens, a 41-yard touchdown hookup. Great run after the catch, and then Westbrook, his first of 2. This one good for 41 yards. Donovan McNabb with 5 touchdown passes in this game. To start the afternoon, 14 straight completions. That is a team record. He's thrown for 464 yards today. Nall fires and out of the reach of Javon Walker.
You know, Joe, and I think if you look at Green Bay and as they get through this ball game and as they move forward, you know, if they're going to be able to do anything, if they're going to go on and win their division, if they're going to get into the playoffs, they have got to shore up the problems that they've got in this secondary. I mean, they've had some real problems all season long back there, and they're very, very young. And you kind of got to go back and think that, you know, maybe they should have paid Mike McKenzie. Maybe he would have made a difference had he have still been on this football team, because that's a real weak spot of this club.
3rd down and goal. Nall over the middle, and the pass is incomplete. Wide open was Donald Driver, and he could not make the catch to get the Packers into the end zone for the first time today.
And the reason that I say that, Joe, is because when you go into the playoffs and as you get into some of these bigger games, you're going to be facing teams that can score points. And more importantly, you're going to be facing teams that can throw the football. And so you've got to be able to shut them down. You just can't let teams come in and throw the ball the way the Eagles have today, the way the Rams did last week, even though they were fortunate enough to win, or the Colts earlier in the season.
On 4th down and goal, the pass for Franks, and they'll throw a flag for interference.
And they got a defensive lineman, Jamal Green, on him.
Well, Jamal was not playing the ball.
You know, I can't believe Jamal didn't get his head around. You know, Jamal, you got to know you got to get your head around, or the interference is going to be called.
Defense. Number 65. In the end zone. Ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. First down.
Tell you, Jim Johnson's given us some good looks over the years, but this is about as good as I've seen when you put Jamal Green, your defensive tackle, on their big red zone weapon, Bubba Franks.
This is like him in the laboratory, like you figuring out your ratings and all that stuff that you got going on during the week, just trying stuff out.
How many hours a week do you spend on that thing?
Too much.
1st and goal, Najee Davenport, the Green Bay Packers. still have been held out of the end zone, and a penalty flag is on the ground in the back of the end zone.
"12 men against the defense. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down."
That's the latest trick tried by Jim Johnson. Get another guy out there. How about that? The Eagles defensively have not allowed a touchdown in the last 12 quarters.
That's why when you talk about teams that move the ball between the 20s, I mean, the one area where Philadelphia's been awfully good, regardless of how teams have run the ball against them, they've done a great job down here, and that's why they lead the league in scoring defense.
Handoff is to Davenport, and he is brought down in the backfield, and the Eagles are still playing. It's Corey Simon.
And you know what's great is the way this reminds me of what Corey Simon did in that playoff game a season ago when he got 4th and 1 penetration and broke up the play that I thought really turned the entire momentum of that playoff game around right before the half. He comes back and makes a play that looks exactly like it.
So now the ball is outside the 1. It's 2nd and goal. Now rolling to his right, throws back across the middle and finds his fullback Henderson. The Packers' first touchdown, and there's a little of the Green Bay frustration coming out of the part of William Henderson, who has his 2nd touchdown of the year.
Quentin Michael is pointing towards the scoreboard and say, you might want to look up there before you decide to spike it too often.
And that's what it looks like with the extra point coming. So it's Nall getting the touchdown throw to Henderson, not Favre. The last time Brett Favre did not throw a touchdown pass was in October of 2002. The extra point is good, and it's 47-10. We'll take a break, come back. Under 8.5 to play. Favre is sitting the rest of this one out. 47-10 Philadelphia.
Leon, Joe Buck. You guys are on in 20.
Hey, look at Joseph. Leon always stands on the left, you know, to showcase my good side. So
I always stand on the left, and I wouldn't even worry about it. You look great.
Yeah, this is very true. Leon doesn't have a bad side, but I'm just saying, you see that dimple? It's my trademark dimple, baby.
This is my good side, too.
Look here, Joe, I hate to be the one to tell you this, man, but if that's your good side, you may want to stick to radio.
Joe Buck here with the legendary Leon.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
This holiday season, it's your last chance to find the right price on the Volkswagen that's right for you.
I love it.
Right now, during our year-end sales drive, get great deals on 2005 Touaregs.
You know, I think I'd marry you again. All these people as witnesses?
Yeah, right. Mom? Dad?
Lisa, will you marry me? Again.
This Christmas, give her a piece of eternity.
The biggest event in music is live and it's on Fox with Green Day, Gwen Stefani, Usher, Britney Spears, and more. The Billboard Music Awards, Wednesday at 8/7 Central, only on Fox. Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time.
Donovan has been Superman today. And he and his Campbell's Chunky Soup will sit on the bench with the Eagles about to get it back. And you have to believe McCoy Detmer's coming in. Huh? Yes? No?
Yeah, it looked that way with the ensemble he had on his head.
J.R. Reed on the return, and penalty flags come in. And here, finally, is Coy Detmer.
Donovan better be careful. That towel on his head, it might catch on fire.
Holding. 52. Receiving team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
When you're that hot, anything flammable is dangerous at this point. Well, what a game he had. It really He is just come of age. Every once in a while, you can just see when the